I'm trying to build bridges, not fight each other. This is not what our faith taught us, at least to the Muslims. This is not what Islam taught us, to fight Jews and kill them and wipe them out. That is a fucking act, and I'll debate anybody. So they pick sentences out of context. They want to throw some things, and they want to make it look like this faith has been programmed to wipe them out and hate them. No, it's the other way around. You decided to come after World War II, after the Christians rocked your world, the Christian Europeans decimated you, and you once again knew where to go. We got to go to the Muslims, because throughout history, that's what the Muslims did. They protected you and took you in, and look what you did this time around. And to deny the history, you were not there. You were not there before World War II. There was people living there, and they're Semitic people, and this is a fact. Okay, and they've been there forever. The Canaanites, that's what they are. They're modern day Palestinians. And for a long time, Muslims and Jews lived in peace in that city, especially when the Muslims controlled it. These are the facts of history. Facts, undeniable. Not my opinion. The greatest authors of non-Muslim faith have wrote these books. Jews in their own words. It's all documented. They treated us like no one else. They had their own schools, their own synagogues. They had their own judges under the Muslims, meaning the Muslims were the empire, but the Jews had their own law and system within that empire. They were allowed to govern themselves. They were allowed to decide their affairs amongst each other, their own people. Sounds like the Muslims hated. Sounds like the Muslims hated the Jews. You fucking clowns. You should be ashamed. And this is not for all Jews. This is for the ones that push this narrative, because they want to justify war. They want to make two large groups of people hate each other and kill each other. And that's not what Islam teaches. And that's not what Judaism teaches. And that's not what Christianity teaches. So I will not stay silent. Now when someone's going to manipulate the facts of history and try to push an agenda to justify what's happening to babies right now, to women and children, you fucking cowards. Lobbying should be made illegal. How much money do they lobby our government? Should be illegal. Illegal. Another thing that should be illegal is women teaching kids. Maybe they should separate boys, girls with female teacher, boys with male teacher. Unfortunately, there's boys that go with men and all that stuff. But clearly these teachers can't keep their legs closed around children. Clearly, if you want to talk about the laws of God, men and women should be separate in the workplace. Here you go. Every day it's another teacher sleeping with the opposite sex. Disgusting, bro. Disgusting nation we live in, bro. No fucking morals. You guys are worried about the Muslims? No morals, bro. They can't even keep their legs closed in school. Women that are 25, 35 years old, married, sleeping with 11-year-old boys, 13-year-old boys, 15-year-old boys. Sexually degenerated people, bro. Probably watching these disgusting videos they find online that insinuate these types of fantasies. Student gets his teacher, teacher gets student, stepson gets stepmother, like disgusting shit. That they plant these fantasies in their minds because they watch it, and then their body craves it. And then they think it's normal to do this stuff with children. This is the world we live in. This is the country that I live in. Their women can't keep their legs closed even in school with kids. And then they want to talk about the rules of God and how bad they are. And these are the same rules that Jews and Christians have. Morals. We have lost our minds with morality, and we are paying such a heavy price. From divorce to crime. We are paying with people losing their lives every day in this country because deadly sins have deadly results. This is the world we live in. And it all comes from immorality. It comes from lust, following our desires and not submitting to the Creator. But clearly, these people can't keep their legs closed. So maybe we should separate them. 80% of affairs happen in the workplace. Clearly, men and women can't control themselves. Are the Muslims that fucking easy? When you think about it, they separate men and women. They're allowed to work. Women are allowed to work, but not in close quarters to men. They clearly can't control themselves. They clearly can't stay together. This is why they have those rules. Just so you understand, I'm not saying that you have to implement this in America, but just understand why the Muslims have this logic. We are human after all. Seems like we can't keep our fucking pants on, our dresses up at work. When I worked in the corporate world, I had friends that slept with the entire office, bro.